welcome to the very first Saturday Spook. And I wanted to do the series as like a fun little spooky video thing where we could maybe talk about any good horror movies or shows and maybe read some awesome ghost stories and have a bit of fun. And today I just kind of wanted to chat a bit about some spooky things that I've been liking. I have a little ghost story for later that I'm going to read to you guys, and hopefully this can be fun, spooky. I hope nobody gets too scared. I don't have anything really super scary, but I thought it could be a fun little series, something to watch during the night when it gets dark. And yeah, one of my favorite shows that is kind of a bit spooky, it's not really that scary or anything, but I find it really fun, is Supernatural. And I know now the newer seasons don't focus on it as much, but I know the first couple of seasons are very oriented around monsters and spooky demons, and it is very scary, or it was when I watched it, which was a couple of years ago now. But I think that's really fun. There's monsters and ghouls, and yes, so very spooky stuff. Let me see, a movie. My favorite horror movie to date, because I don't like stuff that's super scary, and I also like stuff that has a bit of a plot to it as well. And the horror movie that I am in love with and obsessed with, I watched it a couple times, is Cabin in the Woods, believe it or not. I know I've heard some really mixed reviews about that movie, but I love it. I think it's got just the right amount of scary, just the right amount of slasher and gore. It's got a bit of comedy mixed in there as well, and I think it's really interesting. I like the concept of it, so yeah. I do have a little story to share with you guys. So this story, which I'm going to be reading off my phone because I didn't memorize it, sorry about that. Okay, so this one is called Behind the Tombstone, and I'm going to read it all solemnly, so my voice is going to sound weird, but that's okay. What you gonna do about it? The old tombstone was beginning to crumble. Oh my god, my phone just got screwy. It just clicked a link and made my whole train of thought go awful. Also, did you guys notice I have dimmed lighting for this spooky occasion? It's not just that my lighting sucks. I did it on purpose. I made it look bad on purpose, okay? Yeah, so that's a thing. Behind the tombstone. The old tombstone was beginning to crumble, but it looked as good a sight as any to set up. Aidan and Mark set their recorder on the ground between them and scanned the darkened cemetery with their flashlights. There wasn't a sign of a caretaker, and they hadn't really expected to see one, given the dilapidated state of the graveyard. "Turn it on and let's begin," Aidan said. Mark flipped the recorder switch on, and Aidan began asking questions out loud. "Is there anyone with us tonight?" Nothing filled the silence except a slight scritch from somewhere behind the stone. Unperturbed, Aidan asked the next question. "Can you tell us your name?" Again, the only sound was a scritch. "Can you show yourself?" As before, just a scritch from behind a stone. "Are you afraid of us?" asked Aidan. This time there was no scritch, but the atmosphere suddenly seemed thick and malevolent. Neither young man noticed the towering dark shadow that rose from behind the tombstone until it was too late. The darkness swooped down and engulfed them until neither one could see the other, and just as suddenly Aidan, Mark, and the black shadow vanished into the ground. The next morning, when the old caretaker showed up, he found the recorder lying on the ground in front of the tombstone. He turned it on, and in the silence that followed each of Aidan's questions, you could now hear the following reply spoken softly by a deep and menacing voice. "Yes, I am always here. My name is never spoken by your kind, but it is very old. I'll show myself but it is the last thing you'll ever see. You are mine. The caretaker quietly pocketed the recorder, looking around to assure himself he was truly alone. He took the only evidence that anyone had been near that particular tombstone again, and he tossed it in the pile with the rest in the tool shed. So, not too scary, not too bad. I hope no one's going to be having nightmares because of that one. I think, like, for the first video, I thought we could do a bit of a more fun, little creepy story, nothing too bad. Although I was reading some really creepy ghost stories to get, like, prepared for this, and they were way worse than this, and I might be having some nightmares tonight, so, yeah. Let's hope not. Got my fingers crossed. I delved a little bit into the world of creepypasta, which is pretty scary stuff, you guys. There's some haunting pictures, creepy demon monster things. Yeah. Pretty traumatizing stuff. Yeah, so I think this is going to be like a weekly series. I'm going to try to get them up on Saturdays. We're going to have our classic dim lighting. I did wait till it got dark today to film my video. I thought it would be more spooky that way. I swear. Let's make a drinking game. Just take a shot every time I say the word spooky in this video. Unless you're underage, then don't do that. That's bad. Now that we've had this wonderful PSA announcement, yes, you're welcome. Some spooky shows that we've discussed, which is basically only one show. Supernatural is my show for this episode that I'm going to recommend. I think I should do that every week. I'm going to do a show that is spooky and I've been loving. I'm going to recommend a show that is kind of creepy, kind of horror-ish. That sounded like I said horror-ish, but I said horror-ish. So all those things, spooky, take another shot, and I think I will also recommend a movie that is creepy and a horror movie, and maybe a little ghost story, or maybe if I have a personal story from that week, I can share that with you. Lots of spooky stuff going on in these episodes. Watch them at night. I'll probably upload them at night and edit them and get them up. Probably on a Saturday. We'll try for Saturdays. And yeah, this is fun. Great. Okay, until next time. Bye, guys.